if I don't keep making videos. I have to sleep outside. Hey, making pasta, and this is just how we like to make it when we're making it fresh and homemade, along with the Italian seasoning we made that goes along with our chicken sausage that we've also made, and the pasta sauce that we have also made. So yes, there's a whole round of things. They're all tied together, but this is just how this worked out. And so I'm gonna run through the ingredients really quick. So I have 136 grams of double O flour and 136 grams of semolina flour, 2 medium eggs. Do not beat the eggs. Then I have 14 milliliters of olive oil, which is the equivalent of 1 tablespoon, and a pinch of salt or 1 gram of salt. And then I have a little bit of water on standby just in case you need it. So the thing is, with pasta, I always weigh it out. I don't do anything by cups or anything like that, because what I have found is you get better consistency if you are using weights for this. So it's like baking. Baking, you follow a very specific recipe, and you come out with a confection of sorts, a delightful confection. However, in this instance, we're not baking, we're making pasta. Enough talking, chit-chatting, whatever, all of that stuff. Ahead and put our ingredients inside. And if you can't find the double O and the semolina flour in your local grocery store, which we kind of had a hard time finding it locally, I usually do order it on Amazon, and you can find it comes in a package together. You'll see like they both come together. So anyways, you can do that, or if your grocery store has it, then hey, you must live in the hills, in the fancy places. Anyways, so there's some olive oil, a pinch of salt, and I'm just gonna leave it. There it is. Here's everything. I'm just gonna raise up my bowl. Let's start off low and just let it all come together. If it's not coming together, I'm gonna add just a little bit of water at a time, and you can see inside, so you know what it looks like. Oh, and also, you want to have a glass of wine, not for the pasta, but for you. Looks like it needs a little help. It's not quite coming together here. So I'm going to do just a little bit. Water. See how that goes. I bet this sounds great in the microphone. Is it like pasta ASMR? I'm going to do that. Pasta ASMR. I'm just going to add just a tad bit of water here. A little bit more. Perfect. I think that's going to be enough. You don't want it to be like, if you have your dough is too watery, you can see it, like it shouldn't have a glisten or anything like that to it. It should still look not quite moist, and I know some people hate that word. You shouldn't see any like water or anything like that, but it should be enough that it's starting to come together. Look at that. It's come together in a ball. Just need a little bit of water, that's all. And there you go. It's ready for phase 2. We are simply going to knead this for 7 minutes. Alright, so don't have to get all crazy. I do 7 minutes, and that's just how it works for us. So 7. I won't torture you for the next 7 minutes with the video, so I'm going to go ahead and stop, and I will cut when we get back and show you how to let it rest. So it's about 7 minutes now. Coming up here, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. It looks good. And I'm going to turn my timer off. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to wrap it in plastic wrap. That was my my rapper name when I was in a boy band in high school. They call it plastic wrap. I'm just kidding. This is all getting edited out. So take your plastic wrap, get it ready. I have the worst time with this stuff, and I don't know why, but I'm sure there's some trade secret to using it, and I gotta watch like a YouTube video on it or something. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna take our dough out, and it should not be hot. I've been kneading this on low the whole time, so you don't want to knead it on high because it will. You don't want it getting hot. You don't want the eggs cooking or anything like that. So just nice and be nice to it. Be nice to it. Form it into a ball, and then you're gonna just cover it in plastic wrap like so. And look, yeah. It's like you delivered baby dough ball. And here you go. Keep this. Let it rest for half an hour. So we're back. Our dough has been resting for a good half hour, and it's time to make the pasta. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take it out of the saran wrap. I'm going to weigh it. And I'm gonna weigh it, and you can divide it depending on how big of the chunks you want to work with. Some people do 4 pieces. It's 420 grams. Ooh. So 420, but I like to do mine in smaller bits, so I'm going to do 6. So I need 70 grams a piece, and I'm going to be working with smaller bits. So what I'm going to do is cut off the piece that I need, and then I will work that and make sure I cover the rest. $72, 69, 70 grams. All right, so 70 grams. I'm just going to roll this into a ball, and then I'm going to do 6 equal parts. I have 6 pieces, 90 grams each, and all I'm going to do now is put the ones that I'm not working with back in the saran wrap, and I'm just going to work with one dough ball at a time, keeping these all covered and until I'm ready for them. So make sure you get a little bit of flour. And the flour is, you want to dust your machine just a hair, and make sure you get it right, because there's different types of noodles you could do. And this just keeps it all from sticking, and I do dust a little down here as I work with it, because I don't want it to stick. And don't use too much flour, otherwise it's really tough. You just want to make it so that it can go through the rollers without sticking. You can use different speeds, but basically what you want to do is get this into a nice kind of square shape, work it till you have something that's going to be more uniform. Otherwise, or you can have a rustic kind of cut on your pasta if you want it, but I'm going to get it into a square. We're working at the widest setting here first, so this is going to start with 0, then I'm going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, and you do this as thick as you want your pasta. So I'm doing fettuccine noodles. I don't want them overly thick or overly thin, so we'll see. So we'll start at 0. Your first pass, you're going to fold it. You really want it to, I'm going to move it right past. Work the dough, make it a little more pliable, and just watch it for if it needs any flour. Put a little on there, and now shape it to what you want, and there you go. Start that. So always run it through twice. Move to your next setting. I'm at 1. I'm going to go to 2. And this is a nice attachment. Bought it on Amazon. Really just get this to how thick you want your noodles. I'm at 4. And I don't know why twice is the magic number, but they always say to do it twice, and it's always worked out great for me. So 4, kind of feel the thickness of it, see if that's where you want it. I'm going to go to 5. So you could do lasagna noodles. It has more like spaghetti noodles in here, but I'm doing fettuccine. So you can see the length of these is pretty long. What I'm going to do is just fold it in half, kind of mark where it is, cut it here, and this will be the length of my noodles. So then I'm going to run this through the fettuccine side. And here's all my noodles. I've got a pasta rack, that's right. Of course, why wouldn't I? And I'm just going to put these up here. You could put these in nests. Some people do nests with them. Just make sure you use a lot of flour to keep it from sticking together. Here's the pasta drying on the rack. I went ahead and ran it all through on our pasta machine attachment on the KitchenAid. Like I said, I used to roll it by hand and it took quite some time. This goes by much faster, and we just dry it out. Basically just leave it out for a few days. It'll dry on its own. It gets hard, then we put it in bags, and we have fresh pasta whenever. Tonight we're going to have pasta, so I'm going to take some of this from the drying rack and we're going to cook it up. It takes like a minute or two. It's fairly quick. So here it is. It's finally all coming together. I have the pasta that we just recently made. I have a pot of water getting ready to boil because we're going to make that pasta. It's going to go really quick. I also have our chicken breast sausage. I used an Italian blend of spices for this. And then I also have our pasta sauce that we made last night into the early morning. And so dinner is coming together, and really all I'm going to do is all I use is just a little bit of salt to season where I need it, or if I think I need it. So I've been heating up my pan. Water's getting ready to boil. I'm just going to brown up my sausage, and when the water is boiling, it'll be ready. I'm going to brown up enough sausage. I'm going to brown all of it, but I'm not using all of it for the pasta sauce. We are using some of this for our breakfast casserole, so I'm only going to do half right now. That looks like half. And I put olive oil in because this is so lean. This looks good. So there it is. Let this brown up. Get it, I like it where there's a little bit of char on it. Not like burnt, but just a little bit. So I'm gonna let this just sit All right, so this is coming up, and my pasta water here is beginning to boil, and this looks good. So I go ahead and add my sauce, and basically I'm just gonna get it nice and warm. And when that is done, and I think it's warm enough, I will cook my pasta, and it'll be very quick. It only takes, like I said, about a minute or so. Mix it all around. It's a great meat sauce here. And you just want to infuse these flavors all together from the sausage and the sauce. So it's not just about heating it up, we're going to let it simmer for a little bit as well. So good. So now we can start to see the sauce bubbling a little bit. You see a little bit of orange. I mean, it looks orange, obviously it's a sauce, but you'll see it coming around the sides, the oil's coming up. And that's really what you're looking for. That's telling you like, hey, I'm nice and hot. So pay attention. And always know when it's ready to go. So there it is, it's looking nice. I can see a little bit of steam coming off of this. I know it's coming together well. I'm gonna let it just kind of come up to a slight boil-ish here. Then I'm gonna turn the heat down, and then boom, straight to our pasta. So I'm gonna start getting my pasta ready. This looks like it's coming together. So I'm gonna get a few rungs, I think, see how this is going to work. I'm gonna go ahead and do all of it. Because you never know if you want seconds or thirds, how well that's gonna work. All right, so just make sure it's not sticking, and then here we go. And this is fresh pasta. We already put salt in it. So keep it from sticking. You just keep it moving like so. Let it come back up to a boil. These look about ready now. You can see how they're just like nice. Not fully cooked, they're 3/4 of the way cooked at this point, which is exactly what we're looking for. And the reason being is I'm going to finish it off in the pasta. So we're in the sauce. So I'm going to take this off the heat. I'm going to drain it. In the sauce. Like that. What's really funny is I'm recording this. My daughter is dressing up our dog in Halloween costumes. So, all right, there's that, right? And there's our pasta sauce. And all I'm going to do is start to put it all in here. Let it all kind of finish off in the sauce. This is it, our pasta dish and all. I'm going to get ready to serve it up. It's ready to go. And all I'm going to do is do a little bowl here. Get some of this in the bowl. Sauce on top. Little parsley. Boom. Boom. Pasta. It only took 72 hours to make. right, so yeah, here it is. Pasta, add your cheese, whatever you gotta do. Done.